Percentage increase tells us the percent that something has increased over its original value. For example here, we're going to set up a scenario dealing with an increase for rent, and we're going to let the rent that you pay be called the letter R. And now if it increases by 5%, then your new rent would be that original rent that you paid plus 5% more of that original rent. So what you need to pay here would be that original rent R plus 5% of R, which this would be, we could call this R plus 0.05 times R, which then that is 1.05 R. So essentially what you would then have to pay is 105% of your previous rent, where we get that 105% from having the original 100% and then adding the percent increase to it, which was 5%. To get the 105% that we'd be multiplying the original rent by. So now this next one we're going to work through with a salary, where if you have a salary of $45,500 and you received a 6.5% salary increase, what would your new salary be? Well, this means we need 6.5% for our salary, but then I need to add 100% to that to represent the original amount. So this gives us 106.5%. And now I'm going to take this and put it into the decimal format. So that's going to give us 1.065. And now I can multiply this by the original salary. So we're going to multiply it by 45,500. And now this will then tell us the new salary. And our new salary should then be $48,457.50. So next, a lot of our problems ask us to calculate the percent change, percent increase, percent decrease of an item. And we can do this if we know the original value and the new value of something. And the percent increase equation is not too terrible to memorize. It is simply just the new value minus the original value. And then we need to take that, divide it by the original, and then that gives it to us in the decimal format. So to put it in the percent format, we just need to multiply by 100%. So for example, using this, in 2013, we are told the yearly tuition at fees at Whitewater was $6,982. And then in 2019, the yearly tuition fees was $7,692. And we want to find our percent increase in the yearly tuition during the 6-year period. So this means we need to take our new value, which is going to be the one for 2019 because that's more recent. So that's going to give us 7,692. And we need to subtract the original one. So our original is going to be 6,982. And then I need to take that and divide this by the original 6,982, and then multiply by 100%. And then once you evaluate this, this should then give you 10.17%. Percent decrease is very similar, and honestly, you can just use the same equation as percent increase. However, if it's decreasing, you're going to get a negative sign. And that would mean that when I say that something's decreasing, I wouldn't include that negative. I would just ignore it and say that it's decreasing by this percentage. If you want to avoid having to deal with the negative sign, you can use the modified formula here by swapping the numerator terms. So percent decrease, we can write it as being the original minus the new, but still dividing it by the original value, and then multiplying by 100%. This will deal with getting rid of that negative, because when we say something is decreasing, that's already implying that negative part of it. So now in 2000, we have that there was 1,328.1 thousand U.S. auto workers. And then in 2010, there was 661.2 thousand U.S. auto workers. And we want to find our percent decrease during this 10-year period. With this one, these values are given in terms of thousands. Since both of them are in those values or in that unit idea of thousands, we can ignore that because that would then cancel out if we were to actually figure out how many workers this would be for each of these. So we can just use the 1328.1 and the 661.2 values. So our formula for percent decrease, original minus new. So our original value here is going to be the one from 2000. So 1328.1, and then subtract the new value, 661.2, and then divide that by the original, 1328.1, and then multiply by 100%. So then this should then give you that this would be approximately 50.21%.